Hello, I'm Mrs. Dowling, and I'm going to be talking about Math 8. Some of your children are seventh graders taking Math 8, and most of them are eighth graders. The class is the same. Our curriculum is accelerated so that we're fitting one semester of work into one quarter. And the biggest way we're doing that is by skipping some of the lessons and actually skipping an entire unit, Unit 2, on dilations and similarity. So if we're skipping certain lessons, your child has that information on their portfolio tracker. They can show you their portfolio tracker, and they could do those missing lessons so that they don't miss out on the content. That's an option during their asynchronous time. For the entire unit 2 that we're skipping, if you want your child to do that as some self-learning, you can reach out to me and I'll let you know how you can get them access to that. Everyone did really well on our first unit. We've already finished that and moved on because we are moving quick. Um, and that was rigid transformations and congruence, where we got into shapes and angles. And now we are into basically algebra, even though that's not what the class is called, but it's proportional and linear relationships on graphs, in tables, equations, and talking about situations. Then we'll be moving into actually linear equations and linear systems, where we look where two lines intersect and what does that point mean. So we're going very fast. So how can your child ask for help and receive help? There's lots of ways, but a lot of it is going to be dependent on them reaching out for that help. Okay, they can ask questions in class, verbally, or through the chat. They can call me to their breakout room when they're working in small groups by pushing the ask for help button. There's a button for everything in online teaching. I would like for them to be asking their classmates those questions before they ask the teacher, because you would be surprised how much they can learn from each other. They can actually learn a lot more from each other than from me. I could tell them all the answers, but they're going to learn more really working it together. They always have the opportunity at the end of class, like the last 20 minutes or so, they work asynchronously and they can work on their own, or they can ask to be in a small group with me or in a study group with classmates of their choosing. So if they're feeling like they really need more help, they should be asking to be in that small group with me. Otherwise, I do pull some people in the small group that I pick. I kind of rotate who those people are. And then we've been using our Wednesday small group time from 9:30 to 11 to do the iReady test, but soon that will open up and be another opportunity where they could visit some optional Zoom hours with me to get some extra help. All right, that leads us to grading. They have a daily checklist they're turning into Google Classroom every day. If you look over their shoulder at their Google Classroom or request to be added as a guardian, you can see up to the minute information of what checklists they've turned in, and they should be turning one in every day. I'll enter some of those in Synergy, but there's going to be a little bit of lag time rather than Google Classroom will give you real time. We've done one unit test and people did amazing. If they didn't do well on it, it may be there's a few students that were absent and it might be showing as an F right now. They need to make that up. But those students that took the test did awesome. So if there's a test, though, that a child wants to redo, they need to study. They need to study before they redo that test. And then they can study by looking at the old test and redoing it, or they could look at each cool down from each lesson that we did. That's also a way I told them to study for the next test. Always look at your old cool downs. They would need to set up a one-on-one Zoom meeting with me, and then we'll go through redoing the test together. So that's a little different than last year. I would just put a new test in front of them with a piece of paper. I want to meet with them one-on-one. That can be during any asynchronous time or Wednesday small group time, but they do need to set up an appointment so that I carve out that time just for them. All right, let me know if you have any other questions or I can help you with anything. We will, towards the end of the quarter, let you know some things that your students can do on the off quarters when they aren't having math so that they stay fresh on their skills. And I'm enjoying working with your kids. I really am, but I wish I could see them in person. All right, take care.